Hello, everybody, and welcome to Podcast Period, the internet's stupidest podcast. My name is Ben, and with me today, as always, is my co-host David.
What's up, guys?
Sorry for the longer wait on this episode. We have been trying to get back on a schedule, but holidays. We didn't get this last one recorded when we should have. So
Nope, we didn't.
we're gonna get back on it. Don't worry. We are back on schedule. We just missed one. Anyway, how was your Christmas, everybody? Mine was great. How was yours, David?
Half of it was spent with you. So what do you think?
Probably terrible.
No, I'd never say that. I mean, I don't know. My favorite Christmas present came, what is this, like 10 days late? This wonderful...
10 days. 10 days.
10 days after Christmas.
I think you mean like 3 weeks late.
Yeah, I ordered, for
Maybe
reference,
4.
guys, I ordered this November 28th for the Black Friday sale. And he ordered his on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
And got it probably, like a solid 2.5, almost 3 weeks before I got mine. And I'm literally like hundreds, if not 1,000 miles closer than he is.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, but whatever. I absolutely love it. I normally don't. Ben can probably attest to this. I get warm pretty easily. I don't wear hoodies inside at all. I've been wearing this the entire time since I got it. This is so comfortable. I absolutely love it. So my favorite Christmas gift to me by far, beyond
Mine was perfect for when I went up there. When I'm telling you it works as a hoodie, it works as a hoodie.
It's a pretty...
So that was the only thing that I wore up there. Granted, it wasn't super cold anymore by the time I got up there. It was like 30 something.
This is huge for a hoodie, though. Like the hood itself, this went over my headphones, no problem at all. This thing is amazing. I love it.
But for as thin of a hoodie as it is, I mean, it's basically like just a regular hoodie or a regular hoodie thickness.
Yeah.
It lasted. I felt none of the 30 degrees. Except for in my hands where I didn't have any gloves. My core was entirely warm. I felt nothing. That thing is insane. And it's got about 8 million pockets too.
Yep. I love the pockets. I got pockets inside of pockets.
Uh-huh.
So
I got a pocket and then a cell phone pocket and then another pocket and another pocket inside that pocket. I had a pocket on my wrist. There's a pocket on my back. I think there's a pocket on my shoulder.
Got more pockets than I do.
I'm telling you, that thing has got like 1 million pockets. It's not a joke. I don't know why there's so many, but I use them.
That's not a bad problem to have. So
no. Anyway, I think we should go ahead and get on with the show as per normal. So first things first, everybody's favorite app, TikTok, has been banned from the House of Representatives phones. This was released on December 27th, which was a week after legislation was introduced that would bar TikTok from all federal devices. So if you work in the government and you got a government-issued phone, can't watch no more TikToks on that thing.
Nope.
So, I mean, sucks to suck, I guess. Not that I'm really surprised that they're banning it, because it's entirely a Chinese app, like 1,000,000%. There's no American involvement whatsoever.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, but at the same time, I'm like, they've probably stolen it from somewhere else anyway. So at this point, I yield. I've
given my information out to everybody at this point. Not even entirely of my own volition, but it's out there. I know it's out there, so whatever, sure. Go ahead, China. Listen to what I've got to offer, which is absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. What are we going to do? What are we
Go
going to
ahead,
say to offend them?
sell my state secrets.
Yes, yes, exactly. All 6,000 bajillion of them that absolutely don't exist.
That's right. So yeah, poor House of Representatives people don't get to have TikTok on their government issued phone anymore.
No TikTok.
Not that all of them don't have personal phones anyway. So
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm okay with that.
Let's move on, shall we?
Alrighty, so in a bit of a blaze of glory fashion, we have somebody else trying to dethrone NVIDIA for incompetence, I suppose. Oh, wait, no, that was Intel that was incompetent with their drivers. But apparently there are no longer the safe haven AMD we shall rejoice members when it comes to thermals, because apparently they've got some major issues. It's referring to the 7900 series cards. More specifically, it looks like it is being limited to, it could expand, but it's being limited to the Founders Edition cards, the ones from AMD themselves. It doesn't look like anybody from the aftermarket board partners and all that has had an issue yet, but that's subject to change. AMD's been mum's the word on this. They haven't really said, okay, we're aware of this, we need more information, we're looking into it. As of now, they haven't really said anything. But there seems to be some kind of vapor chamber issue with their cooler. In certain situations, not all the cards are doing it. You can have your car mounted horizontally like a normal person would. I don't have a vertical mount. I know you don't have a vertical mount. Don't think I'd want one, but if that's going to solve an issue, maybe. They just start throttling. The vapor chamber stops working or something. So there was some speculation, and it might be weight pulling the cooler itself away from the PCB and the graphics chip, or in this case, I'm sure there's more than one because they're doing chiplet design. I don't know if maybe the chiplet design has something to do with it. Maybe the vapor chamber is warming up more in one spot than another, and it's locking up in some way because of the chiplets. It's hard to tell. Nobody's really figured it out. There was speculation that it was gravity based. There's been a couple of people that have put them on their own support, so they're supporting it from the bottom and basically just using a riser card to plug into the PCI slot. So the card's completely supported and it still exhibit these issues. But the minute you let it cool down and turn it vertically again, the issue goes away. And you can run it vertically all that time and the issue's not present. You go to change it to a horizontal mount and magically the same exact card starts throttling again. So there's something going on. We just can't figure it out, and nobody's saying anything at AMD. So I guess NVIDIA's not the only one in the PC heater race this time around.
Not this time. But, at least you can vertically mount your GPU to fix that, quote unquote.
Or, maybe just avoid the... Because, like we said, as of now, it looks like it might be just the Founders Edition's cards. If more start doing this, then it might be something else. It might be some kind of rogue issue with the cards themselves. Right. Either AMD's got some bad drivers going out, or they've sent some bad firmware and all of the board partners are using the same thing. They'll use different VBIOSes for their different cards, so it shouldn't be a VBIOS problem if different people are having the issue. But right now it looks like it's just AMD's reference design, so who knows? If it spreads further, it's got to be an actual AMD design fault with their actual cards. If it's just this bad cooler, I guess it could be worse. I'd rather it be a bad cooler than a bad design. Cooler you can fix, or you can just buy somebody else's cooler.
Or somebody else's card, for that matter.
Exactly. Well, Long live Nvidia, the overpriced kings.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
This is exactly why we're not buying anything.
I don't know who in their right mind is going out to spend $1,000 on a GPU anyway.
Too dang much.
Ridiculous. All right. So, interestingly, I don't understand why this is a thing. I guess you can use it when you're charging your car. Tesla rolls out Steam game support for their newest vehicle models. Over 6,000 deck verified games are now playable on the 17-inch central console. So if you want to, I'm assuming this you can only do it when you're when you're parked. I hope so.
Well, until they get self-driving going.
Yeah, right.
That won't
God,
happen.
I don't even want to know. Anyway, assuming that you're parked, I believe it looks like you can play your collection of Steam games now, which means that you can play Fortnite on the go or Among Us in your car. Isn't that great?
That is absolutely flippin-tastic.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
don't
right.
know. I mean, yeah, I guess you got to have something to do when you're sitting there charging for all of. I mean, if it was overnight or something, like you are going to have to do this for 2 or 3 hours, maybe. But they've got the DC fast chargers pretty much everywhere, and them things kick out some freaking power. So it's not like you have to do much. If you do it right, you're only going to have to stop like maybe 10, 20 minutes, depending on what distance you're trying to go and how far you're going to try to span between them. Because, I mean, you don't necessarily have to hit every single charger along your destination route.
Yeah, sure.
But
Sure.
I don't know. It's just, it's probably me. I can't play games in the car. I can't read in the car. I can't focus on anything in the car. Otherwise, I will get nauseous and I will get a very bad headache. So I know
No,
you won't be moving. So obviously, that's not the same thing. But maybe I'm just. I can't play games in the car, and I don't think I'd ever want to. And that might be just my bad experience playing into this. Why the hell would you want to do this? Just why?
I can see why you want to do. I mean, even 10, 20 minutes, you want to have something to do besides like maybe scroll on your phone or something, right?
I don't know. Go pee. Go stretch your legs. Go do something. Like if you're just gonna sit there in the car, like a lot of people tout this as an advantage. Like I want to get my road trip done and over with, so I want to get the gas, get back in the car, and go.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people tout this. Oh, it's not so bad. You get a chance to relax and go grab this, that, and all that stuff as an advantage. Okay, fine. This is going to not give you that advantage if you're literally just going to be sitting in the car anyways. Like, what's the difference? You're not going out, you're not stretching. I don't know.
Maybe they don't want to do that. I don't know.
It's cool though. It's cool that they
Yeah,
can do it.
it is cool that they can do it.
I don't know
Kind of
how good of
surprised that they can
a
do it, but hey.
like yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, now you can talk about your friend Elon again.
Oh, my friend. He's my friend now?
He is your friend.
Uh Elon is your friend. However that Google is your friend song goes. Mr. Free Speech himself just went on a tangent and blocked many an account. Mostly journalists that happen to, or at least reportedly happen to, help share and dox his location by sharing and following a Twitter account that was known for tracking Elon's plane. Some of this may be linked to an incident that was occurring where somebody attacked a car that his son was in. Reportedly knew where they would be because of the account following the whereabouts of Elon's plane. Now, this is all publicly available information, It's not like this was insider information giving away where he's at. Like, you can just look this up yourself. But it did make it easier for people to find him. So he blocked the plane account, and he blocked a bunch of journalists. And yeah, that was that. He has unsuspended all of the accounts that doxed him, apparently. I don't know if the plane account ever made it back up. But you can't claim that you're going to have free speech if you're going to go around and then just do something to block people because it affected you. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah. I don't know. I can see where he's coming from, but at the same time, if he's going to be if he's going to position Twitter as a bastion of free speech, then he shouldn't really have a say in who gets banned.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there definitely should be rules, but like, it's publicly available information. This account is just tweeting it out, so it doesn't really seem fair that they were banned in the first place.
Yeah. It looks like he may have also put in the rules, like, they're going to always update the terms and service. The rules that publishing live location information is prohibited now. So, I mean, I get where he's coming from, but at the same time, shut up. Put your money where your mouth is, or shut up. He bought it, he said he was going to do something, and he didn't. So, yeah, whatever.
Now we can talk about something that might be just as depressing, but at least it's not about Elon Musk. So, everybody heard that Henry Cavill was returning to Superman. Henry Cavill left The Witcher season, I think it's going on season 3, to go back to Superman because he was featured in the post-credit scene of Black Adam. But due to the new rulers over at DC, James Gunn and that other guy that I can't remember the name of, he has now been dropped as Superman. So now he doesn't have either job.
Peter. Is that the guy you were trying to think of? Peter Safran or something?
Yeah,
like
that guy.
Yeah, I don't know what's imploding worse. Maybe the whole DC thing, or maybe it's the DC side of things, or maybe it's just the whole Warner Brothers Discovery thing as a whole. But seems like that is imploding very quickly too. Like, they're canceling things. It's movies that got basically tax wrote off at this point. I saw an article the other day where they're dropping like another, like, I think it was 1,000. It may have been 500, but I think it was like 1,000 episodes of like Looney Tunes cartoons off of the platform. And it's like, okay, if you're dropping stuff like that, something tells me that this is an operations issue. Yeah. Like, if you're dropping that stuff, why would you drop it? It's paid for. It's basically free money at this point, except for one big thing: storing it and streaming it. Two things that require a lot of infrastructure and a lot of money to do so.
Yeah.
So, unless you have no room left and you got to make room for something else, or you're trying to cut everything you can, why the hell get rid of that stuff? Because that stuff is done. That is evergreen content. You don't have to pay anything to reap rewards off of it. But you do have to store it. And this is all coming back to streaming stuff, which is not cheap to do, guys.
Nope.
So, something's gonna drop over there like a freaking rock if it hasn't already. And I don't know if I want to see it when the fallout is done.
We'll just have to wait and see what goes on. All right, what's next?
We've got some interesting things going on with Google and Risk 5. So, about 6 or so months ago, somebody specifically asked, I think it was at Google I/O, or it could have been at the Android open software meetings or something like that. And the response then was, "This is something that we're looking into." Well, apparently over the holiday break, footage from the recent RISC-V summit was posted, and Google showed up to apparently profess its love for the up-and-coming CPU architecture. So this may be a transition from ARM to RISC-V for Google, or it may spark at least the possibility of that transition. So I kind of want to see where this goes, because it's supposed to be a whole lot cleaner. A whole lot easier to run. And unlike ARM, it's not going to be trademarked and copyrighted to bits and pieces.
Right.
You're not going to have licenses to use this stuff. So it's going to just make for a whole lot more open source competition out there. There's going to be different people that can get in on these CPU designs, and that could potentially spark a lot more competition, because right now, unless you already have an ARM license, you're not getting in onto Android you're not getting onto Android or any other basically ARM based development program. You're not getting in on x86, and you're not getting in on anything Apple related unless you're Apple. So this is the only open road at this point, because everything else is tied down. And if you didn't have a license by now, you ain't going to get one. So it's kind of crazy to see what that might go.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Google ends up doing with this, considering it's open source and everything. Might make their phones a little bit cheaper. Might make it a little bit easier to make themselves a custom processor now that they're not gonna necessarily be so reliant on ARM either. So we'll have to wait and see. All right. So our discussion this time is going to be a little bit out of the ordinary for us, considering we haven't done an actual discussion topic in a little while. We are going to discuss Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Boy.
And what exactly we've thought about it now that, now that it's concluded. We had this discussion before, but me and David recently went to go see Black Panther: Wakanda Forever in the theaters while I was up there, and that is apparently the conclusion to Phase 4. So now I guess we can talk about what we thought about Phase 4 and what we hope for moving forward in Phase 5 and Phase 6. So, you wanna start us off? Take it away.
There are very, very good parts to this whole phase. We've got a bunch of shows that we liked, introduced new characters, expanded on existing character arcs.
Yep.
Introduced whole new things that could have been unbelievable, but then turned into, like, what was that? The whole what if multiverse introduction. Where did we go with the multiverse in this entire phase?
With this phase, almost nowhere.
Like, we kind of touched on it a little bit with the actual what if shows, some of them.
Right.
Some of them were not connected in any sort of way, which is fine. What if we're supposed to explore a lot of different things? You thought Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness would explore it very deeply, and we end up hopping between 3 or 4 different versions of Earth because that's all we got to see.
Right. Yeah.
There was some pretty good cameos because of that, but it also landed, to me, like one of the worst scenes in a movie from Marvel I've ever seen. Hey, you see that guy who can't talk? You better hope he doesn't talk, or however that was laid out.
Pretty much like that, yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, how's he going to talk?" She took away, like, you gave away, like, What was that? It was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The whole movie was stupid. I was never more excited for a movie based off the trailers for a sequel out of the entire MCU. A sequel movie than I was for Doctor Strange. And it flopped so bad.
Yeah.
It could be our fault. Maybe we were misled because we hoped for something that we shouldn't have hoped for. But the trailers pointed to something completely different.
The trailers and the title.
So it's like, okay, great. So one big giant flop. And then you got the total opposite. Best thing that could have happened in the multiverse ever. You got the Spider-Man. The Spider-Men.
No Way Home, yep.
Like, that was flippin' amazing. Two completely opposite sides of the spectrum, all in the same phase. But again, it didn't go anywhere. Yeah, it did something for Peter Parker. But at the end of that movie, it's all shut down, it's done, and we're left with what could be the most heartbreaking ending of a movie possible, depending on what side you're on. I myself felt betrayed, but that's okay. He'll be okay. I don't know. And then you just got the weird movies. The Eternals should have been something that introduced something great. I hardly remember the movie.
Nope.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Don't even get me started on that.
So many things in that movie that are so bad. Thor can give his powers away? He can share the power of Thor, the power of the god of thunder, with other people? Where's that been this entire MCU timeline?
I guess we saw a little bit of it in Endgame when Cap picks up the hammer.
Sure, but that wasn't really Thor sharing the power of the god of thunder. That was more like Captain America's worthy. He shall summon Mjolnir.
Well,
like
he brought down lightning too, if you remember.
Yeah, I don't know. That movie just is terrible.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not. Trust me, I'm not trying to defend this movie in the slightest. Out of all of the movies that I watched in Phase 4, that was honestly probably the worst.
Doctor Strange, I didn't really understand it. I was disappointed. Thor, I'm never watching it again.
No. Mm-mm.
So you got the very bottom of the barrel with those two. Black Widow, I felt kind of cheated.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was fine. I don't
really have anything terrible to say about it, but it wasn't what I was expecting either.
No, and it wasn't to me it wasn't the send off that Natasha deserved either. Right. After that horrific sacrifice that we see in Endgame, we get one more Black Widow movie. We get one more taste, and it's that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it kind of disappointed. It didn't live up to expectations. It didn't suck, but it didn't live up to expectations.
Yeah.
And then you got all the movies. You got all the television. Which
what about what did you think about Shang-Chi?
I think that's the most original one that actually introduced something new.
Mm-hmm.
It called back from something.
I would have to put that one. I mean, there's not really anywhere else to put it. If you X out all the other movies, it's in the top 3. Even if you put it at the bottom of the top 3. Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, because what's going to beat it? You got Black Panther and you got Spider-Man. Those are the only two movies that we could possibly agree on can beat the 10 Rings. And the 10 Rings was not a fantastic movie.
No, it was better than Black Widow, but it wasn't much better than, like, mediocre.
So you got 3 okay, and then everything else is like, oh my goodness, what was this? It didn't go anywhere.
Say No Way Home or Wakanda Forever were okay. Shang-Chi was okay.
No, Black
No Way
Panther
Home and
and
Wakanda Forever were
they're better than
great.
okay. They're
Oh yeah.
No Way Home's by far the best one out of all of them.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that.
I don't think anybody could disagree with that. Maybe there might be some arguments for Black Panther, but I don't see it.
I don't know. The fact that they brought back the other two Spider-Men for No Way Home, I think puts it
How can
at
you
the
beat
top.
that? Yeah, like
Right.
how can you beat that?
Right.
So it's like, well,
I feel like the TV series fared better than the movies did though, because we both enjoyed WandaVision, we enjoyed Falcon and the Winter Soldier, enjoyed Loki. Kind of iffy on like the first half or so of What If, but that turned out okay.
it just depends on what episode you're talking about.
Yeah. Hawkeye was pretty good. You didn't watch Moon Knight, but Moon Knight was honestly pretty good.
We will watch that at some point, or at least I will.
Miss Marvel was probably Miss Marvel and She-Hulk were both the only meh series that I found on here. I didn't finish Miss Marvel because it was just like kind of a chore to watch. And She-Hulk was just I don't know. It could have been better than what it was.
I could see that.
But everything up until Moon Knight is actually pretty good. They did a decent job on the series.
I think even though I didn't watch Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, or She-Hulk. Even though I didn't watch those three, I can probably say that given the rest of everything in the phase, I probably didn't miss much. And
Not really.
I don't feel bad critiquing something that I haven't seen based off everything else. Now, if those three shows somehow come back and like blow me off my feet, Moon Knight sounds like, if your review has anything to go by, it might actually do that. I don't think the other two will.
I mean, I'm sure they have a plan for everything that they've brought up, even Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, but it just depends on what extent they're planning on using them going forward, you know?
Mm-hmm. And then apparently they're going to call the Guardians holiday special and the Werewolf by Night television specials included in Phase 4 as well. I didn't watch Werewolf. The Guardians holiday special was pretty fun. I liked it.
Yeah.
But I don't know where that leaves us in a hole. The fact that the TV series, to me, outperformed the majority of the movies says something. But the fact that nothing really came about from anything so far is very disappointing. Wonder what the heck's going to happen with that. I don't know if we're not getting season 2 of that, are we?
No, I don't think so. I know they're doing another season of Loki. They may be doing another season of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They are definitely doing another season of What If, but let's see, what do they have? Yeah, in Phase 5, they've already got confirmed What If Season 2 and Loki Season 2.
Got it.
So that might be it. Although they do have Agatha, Coven of Chaos. So I guess, that's going to have to be related in some way to WandaVision. Just have to wait and see, I guess.
I think this is an interesting take on this too. We've got box office performance, critic and public response, so Metacritic, Rotten Tomato scores, and a couple of the other things. Black Widow, mostly Disney's misbehavior about how they released this. It only got 379 million worldwide. It had a $200 million budget, so it didn't even double what it made in budget, which severely, just totally kicked by Spider-Man No Way Home. $1.9 billion, Ben.
Yeah, I see.
On a $200 million budget. So over 5 times, almost 5 times as much money on the same budget. That shows the discrepancy that we've got going on in Phase 4.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Black Widow being the worst of them, but Eternals didn't do much better. It only got 402 million. Shang-Chi got 432 million. Doctor Strange almost got $1 billion. Thor: Love and Thunder is not doing any better. In fact, it's only at 760 million, so underperforming Doctor Strange.
A little bit.
And Black Panther is already outperforming Love and Thunder, and it's not completely finished yet, so I'm sure I think they'll have $1 billion by the time they're done. So
Probably, yeah. By the end of the theatrical run, it wouldn't surprise me. They're at least gonna get pretty close.
Eternals has the worst Rotten Tomato score at only a 47%. Shang-Chi got a 91%. Spider-Man got a 93%. I am kind of surprised about that. Thor: Love and Thunder got a 64%. Strange got a 74%, and Black Panther has an 84%. This is all over the place. It's just one big giant roller coaster, up and down the entire way through.
Which is kind of how we felt watching everything too.
Exactly.
Honestly.
So I feel like, looking at the numbers and looking at the critic response and public response, I feel like our findings are justified. Like, I don't think we're out to lunch in what we've said with the kind of mediocre disappointment in this entire phase.
I think the only surprise is the Rotten Tomatoes score on Shang-Chi. Everything else is right about where we put it.
Right about where we put it. Yeah, Shang-Chi kind of outperformed there, but that's okay. I like I said, I stand by. I think this is the best. It's the best original new content story. One of the only ones, to be fair. I mean, Eternals would be the other one, but I would definitely pick Shang-Chi over the Eternals, so I don't know. The whole thing's just kind of weird.
Yeah. Okay, so out of 10, what do you think you would give this this phase as a whole?
As a whole, the television shows are bringing this up. As a whole, I'd say probably a 6.5.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. 6.5 sounds about right. The TV series is the only thing that's keeping it way up there, because like half of the movies, or more than half of the movies, are just
4 if you're lucky.
Not great. Yeah. So what are you hoping for going into phase 5?
We need, and it may be there and we're just not seeing it. The actual plan is non-existent, or it's not being shown. We need a plan. I want consistency, and I want not garbage writing on the movies. That's what I say.
Yeah. We definitely need to get better story writers in here, because a lot of these were lacking. Spider-Man: No Way Home and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever both had by far the best stories out of all those movies. I can't really, probably maybe WandaVision and Loki were the two big standouts of the TV shows, especially for the writing. Everyone else was pretty good, but I think those two stood above everything else in this phase for the TV shows.
I'd agree with that. It's just, I mean, they didn't fall into a trap. You couldn't tell what was going on with WandaVision. You couldn't tell what was going on with Loki. It was staying fresh.
Yeah.
It wasn't predictable, which is what I was afraid of might start happening. I can't say that anything else was predictable either. Even the bad ones like Doctor Strange, it wasn't predictable. It just wasn't good.
Yeah.
So they stayed out of that trap of, we can see what's coming from a mile away because we're seeing the same thing over and over and over again. It's just, it didn't work. I don't know. They've got some serious issues that I got to work with. You got to make good movies. You've got to be entertaining throughout, and these stupid things with these stupid plot points come up for no reason, giving away, like, that whole thing with Wanda, just obliterating everything on whatever Earth that was. That whole thing was just stupid. And half of what happened in Thor was just stupid. It didn't make for good movie. Did it look good? Sure. They don't have that problem either. They can make a movie look fantastic. They haven't lost that touch. But the storytelling in general just was severely lacking.
Yeah. I'm hoping for definitely better writing, definitely better directing. I want more exploration into what it means to be a part of the multiverse as the MCU.
Exactly.
Because right now we've gotten almost nothing. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so let's move on to our trailer section. We've got a few different trailers to choose from, or that we're going to watch this time. If you haven't watched this before, how our trailer section goes is we're going to watch the trailer, and then we're going to rate it from see it in the theaters, wait for a rental, wait for a review, or not see it at all. Yeah, not really much more to say. Let's watch the first trailer for A Good Person.
Lately, so much of my life has been out of control. I just caught my granddaughter having sex with a boy who looked like a man.
Hey, Belinda, I found this fool in bed with my Ryan.
She said she was 18 online.
You're a fuck boy. He's a fuck boy. That's what the kids call them. Get out of our neighborhood, fuck boy.
Okay.
What the hell did you do to your hair?
It's Makeover Monday.
It's Friday.
Oh. This is incredible.
My wife used to hang out with me down here. She liked the whistle.
It seems okay. Probably not something I would go to see in the theaters, though. I'd say wait for a rental on this one.
Yeah, wait for a rental.
It seems interesting enough. It's got Morgan Freeman in it, so I mean,
that's always a plus.
Yeah, all right.
Wait for a rental.
All right, our next trailer is for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
I can hear you being quiet, Mom.
I, hope I didn't ice your game, man.
No one my age says those words in that order.
It's just hard to see my little man not being my little boy all the time.
Yeah.
For years, I've been taking care of this little boy, making sure he is loved, that he feels like he belongs wherever he wants to be. He wants to go out into the world and do great big things.
Not bad, kid.
And what I worry about most,
I love you, Miles,
is they won't look out for you like us.
Miles!
Want to get out of here? Wherever you go from here, you have to promise to take care of that little boy for me. Make sure he never forgets where he came from. And he never doubts that he is loved. And he never lets anyone tell him that he doesn't belong there. You gotta promise, Miles.
I promise.
This one's self-explanatory. I gotta go see it in the theaters. Like, duh. So ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Man, Miles Morales is a very interesting character. I really, really like this Spider-Man, so go see it in the theaters.
All right, now we've got one for, I don't know if it's just 65 or the 65, but we're gonna watch it.
Location unknown.
Charter 373. This is Commander Mills. My ship was hit by an undocumented asteroid, transporting 35 passengers on a long-range exploratory mission.
We've crash landed on an uncharted celestial body.
Location unknown.
I don't know where we are.
I've located one survivor.
A child. The atmosphere is breathable. There's something alien out there. You need to be quiet.
Quiet.
And move. You and I are gonna get home.
Oh, family.
Well, that answers that question.
Yep, I'm ready for that one too. See you in the theaters.
That is a very interesting premise, though. Time travelers, well, maybe not time travelers, but space explorers from a very, very long time ago finding prehistoric Earth. I like it.
Okay. So our next trailer is for The Fabelmans.
Once there was a way.
Most of my movies have been a reflection of things that happened to me.
Back home.
But in the sense of The Fabelmans, it wasn't about metaphor, it was about memory.
Once there was a way.
Sorry I'm late. I picked up Mrs. Fabelman. Where should I put her?
Get back home. Sleep, pretty darling. Do not cry. And I will sing a lullaby.
What kind of movie are we gonna make?
More important than your hobby. Can you stop calling it a hobby?
That has been nothing but disrespect from you. I'm your mother!
I don't know what else to do. Can you help me? I don't want to disappoint you.
You do what your heart says you have to. Because you don't owe anyone your life.
The Fabelmans, rated PG-13.
This one I've actually been interested to watch before I saw the trailer, because I kind of knew what it was about, but, yeah, I'd say probably, I'd wait for a rental on this one. I don't know if this is one that I would go see in the theaters. It does interest me a lot, but I don't know if it interests me that much.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm torn between wait for a rental and wait for a review on this one.
That's fair.
I don't know anything about it. Trailer doesn't necessarily I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. So maybe just wait for a review.
It's technically an autobiographical movie.
Yeah, I know. Based off that, I probably would want to see it, but I kind of want to know how this turns out first. So yeah, I'm going to stick for the wait for a review rating.
That's fair. All right, next one we've got another trailer for The Whale. I know we watched one last time, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to see if this one turns out any better.
I know these rules can feel constraining, but remember, the point of this course is to learn how to write clearly and persuasively. Think about that. Think about the truth of your argument. You're an amazing person, Ellie. I couldn't ask for a more incredible daughter.
Are you actually trying to parent me right now?
Who would want me to be a part of their life?
You don't stay in touch with Mom?
She really only tells me things about you.
Why?
Because that's all I want to know about.
Why'd you gain all that weight?
Someone close to me passed away, and it had an effect on me.
You haven't seen her since she was 8 years old, and you're gonna reconnect with her?
Sorry.
I don't like this. This isn't a good idea.
I'm sorry.
You say you're sorry one more time, I will shove a knife right into you, I swear to God.
Go ahead. What's it gonna do? My internal organs are 2 feet in at least.
Why do you suddenly need to see her so bad? Why now?
Liz. I'm worried that she's forgotten what an amazing person she is. I need to know that she's gonna have a decent life where she cares about people and that she's gonna be okay. I need to know that I have done one thing right with my life.
That trailer was certainly a lot better than the last one that we watched, in my opinion.
It has some context. It shows some promising aspects.
Mm-hmm.
I like this trailer. Definitely better than the last trailer.
Oh yeah. Another one that I'm not sure that I would go see in the theaters though. I'm interested in watching it, but it's not like I'm not quite there. So I'm gonna say wait for a rental.
I am with you. I would say wait for a rental. I want to see this now. After their first trailer, probably not.
Yeah.
I actually want to see this now. So good job. Good job on that one.
All right. Our final trailer for the episode is for Megan.
I designed Megan to protect Katie from feeling lonely. She will recognize you as her primary user. And when you do that, you're going to pair with her.
Crazy. It's insane, right?
Oh, don't I look nice? Biting my eyes. Isn't it pure perfection?
Megan, your goal is to protect Katie from harm, both physical and emotional.
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare some war. I won't let anything harm you. I love her.
Megan's not a person, Katie.
You don't get to say that.
Megan, what are you doing?
Couldn't sleep. Occupational hazard.
What the hell is that?
You should probably run.
Don't provoke, 'cause oh, we will push you downhill. Bitter as much as we're sweet.
I won't let anything harm you ever again.
Megan.
Have I done something to upset you, Gemma?
I know you think you're maximizing your objective function.
Oh, really?
Sugar and spice and everything nice. No, that's not what we're made.
You'd have to shut her down.
Jesus Christ, I thought we were friends.
Be pretty, but we're still.
I have a new primary user now. Me. Did Megan do something bad?
What's going on? What are you?
I'm Megan.
Baby, don't provoke, 'cause oh, we will.
I was into it up until that last scene. There's no pressure washer in the world that is going to blast somebody across the room. Like, for real. You would have to have a literal fire hose to move somebody. Granted, it would hurt. It wouldn't feel great. But you're not blasting somebody across the room with a pressure washer like that.
No, you'd end up cutting. You'd end up cutting skin before you were able to. It doesn't have... The pressure can be as high as it wants. It doesn't have the volume of water. So
Right.
You'd slice through the poor bastard before you moved him across the room. So, God, just the very first look of this, I just like the eyes. It's like, oh God, it's Chucky eyes or something like that. Like, And
what got me was when she started running on all fours after that kid.
Yeah. Okay. I'd see this in the theaters.
Honestly, I think I would too.
I'd see this in the
theaters. It looks like a fun movie. It doesn't look like it takes itself necessarily too seriously. I mean, that remains to be seen, obviously, but it doesn't seem like it's trying to be like the new Friday the 13th, the new Halloween or whatever. It seems like a fun, haunted doll movie.
Yeah.
Or I guess in this case, a Skynet doll, more like.
One of the comments on this. I want a Chucky versus Megan movie.
I want a movie where it's all Megans instead of Terminators.
Oh, jeez. So cute and adorable. It's like, did I do something wrong? I'm like, yes, child, you sure did.
You existed.
You existed. Right in the feels. Right in the feels.
All right. Well, that is where we're gonna leave this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching / listening, however you happen to be consuming this episode. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe, give us a like, give us a comment. If you're listening to us on Google or Apple or whatever, leave us a review. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time, hopefully with more up-to-date articles. Yeah.
We perused. We kind of did something.
We tried. We did try to find something more up to date, but everything that was up to date was kind of boring. So, anyway, we'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to this episode of Podcast Period. This episode was hosted and produced by Ben, co-hosted and edited by David. You can contact Ben on Twitter at BenPlaysVidges. That's Ben Plays, VIDYAS. And you can contact David on Twitter at Car6by16. If you'd like to chat with us about any of the topics on this episode, you can hit the show up at Podcast Period on Twitter, or shoot us an email at podcastperiodpodcast@gmail.com. That's all for this episode. We'll see you next time.